So what is going on, guys? Welcome to the YouTube channel. If we have not yet met, my name is Peter Roberts. Now in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down my story on how I am living frugally in my 20s, which will allow me to achieve financial freedom in my 30s. My plan is to build wealth for myself in my 20s so I can live a life not having to worry about money, not being stressed about money, and it all comes down to the decisions that I'm making right now in my 20s. So don't go anywhere, guys. I'm going to break down how much I'm saving, as well as what I'm doing to invest, as well as the business that I'm starting that's going to allow me to create financial freedom in my life at a young age. If you want to learn how you can start building wealth no matter where you are in life, this is the video for you. Don't go anywhere. Let's go get it. So before we jump into the story on what I'm doing in my life, if you have not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're missing out. So many people are tuning in, but they're not yet subscribed. It would mean so much, as well as go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. It goes a long way. So you might be asking, Peter, why are you trying to save money? Why are you trying to think about your future? Why are you trying to become financially free in your 30s? In your 20s, this is the time for you. Society tells you that this is the time to live your best life. That mentality of YOLO, you only live once. Spend anything that you make. The ability to go into debt. The ability to continue to live your best life. And for me, I've always understood the importance of money. Now my whole goal, my whole plan on what I'm doing in my 20s, I'm 22 right now, is to create leverage, to create financial vehicles in my life, to build assets that are going to allow to pay for my life so I can live a life of freedom. Now, wouldn't it be amazing to go to a store, to go on a vacation, to go on a trip, and not having to worry about the price of an item? Now, it's going to take some sacrifices. So in my 20s, I'm doing some things right now that I'm sacrificing. Now, some people might think this is the wrong thing to do. Some people might criticize me for making these decisions, but living frugally has allowed me to save a lot of money, which has allowed me to invest a lot of money, which has allowed me to start a business. And I want to continue to stay on this path because I know that the more money that I save for myself now, the more benefit that I'm going to experience in my future, and more importantly, the likelihood I am going to be able to be financially free by the age of 30. So I figured I'd break down the 3 things that I'm doing currently in my life at 22 that has allowed me to live frugally, allow me to save this, and more importantly, putting me on track to achieve financial independence by age 30. Now, my whole mentality, my whole philosophy is that right now in my 20s, this is the most advantageous time for me to begin building wealth for my future. This is the time to take risks. This is the time to live humbly. This is the time to save as much money as I can. This is the time to invest as much as I can, because if I can do this now at a young age, I am setting up the basis, the opportunity to achieve financial success in my future. Being 20, in your teens, no matter where you are right now, use this time, being young, to help grow your wealth. Put yourself in positions to achieve financial success in your future. So I'm going to share with you guys what I'm doing every day, basically my life at 22 years old, how I'm frugal, and how I'm setting myself up for the future. So the first frugal living decision that I made was to live at home with my parents. So right now, I am 22 years old and I'm still living at my parents' house. Now for me, this is the opportunity to not have to pay for rent. This allows me to save a lot of money, and more importantly, I don't have to focus on paying a mortgage, being a renter. I've already been there once in my life, and it absolutely hurt me financially, and it was a bad feeling. For me, I want to save as much money as I can. Now, one of the biggest expenses in our life is where we're going to live. Where are we going to thrive? Where are we going to have a roof over our head? Now, for me, this can be around $2,000 to $3,000 a month in my area. In Maryland, it is super expensive to live. Now, I experienced this early on in my life through college. I was paying over $600 a month to live at college. Now, this was financially stressful. Now, what I was getting was absolutely undervalued. Where I was living was not glamorous, and it was $625. It was not fun. And due to the coronavirus, it was probably one of the best things that could happen to me at college. It forced me to live back home, and ever since moving back home, understanding how I can save this money, how I can invest more money, I don't have to worry about paying for rent or paying for a mortgage, it gave me a decision to understand the appreciation I had for living with my parents. Now at age 22, this might not be the coolest thing to do. This might not be the right thing to do. And eventually you have to find a place or find a time where you want to move out. Now the next 1 to 2 years, my plan is to eventually move out, but right now I'm able to stack as much money as I can. I don't have to worry about paying for utilities. I don't have to worry about paying for rent, because gratefully enough and generously enough, my parents have allowed me to live under their house, and they've continued to honestly spoil me and allow me to not have to spend or pay them for being at their residence. And I'm able to use this money that I would be paying for rent. I'm able to use this money that I would go ahead and pay for a mortgage wherever where I was living, to go ahead and invest in the stock market, invest in other vehicles that are going to make me more money, invest in myself, invest invest in saving a lot more money so one day I can go ahead and purchase multiple houses, multiple properties, multiple assets that are going to make me money in life. But the truth is, if I was able to dish that money out, I would not be able to grow that money in my 20s. I would not be able to build this foundation, and it's all through my generosity of my parents. So one of my greatest ambitions in life is to eventually pay my parents back for what they're doing for me in my 20s, in my teens, and more importantly, for them raising me throughout my life. I want to pay them back for what they're doing. So secondly, guys, I want to share with you what I'm doing with my spending. Now that you know how I'm living, how I'm keeping my living costs low, how am I keeping my spending? What am I spending my money on, and how am I living frugally? Now, what I've understood with money is that the less you spend, the more that you keep for yourself. But the problem is people don't understand this principle. Now, being 20 years old, being a teenager, people want to buy things. They get a job, they get their first paycheck. The first thing that comes to mind is, how can I spend this money? How can I go waste this money? And I see this every day. My friends are doing it. The people that I know are doing it. You feel like you need to reward yourself for your hard work. And that's a principle that I do not live by. One of the greatest principles that I live by is, if I begin to make more money, I don't want to change my lifestyle. Just because my income goes up does not mean my lifestyle has to go up either. Now, I want to live the same way every day. I don't need anything. And that's exactly what I do to keep my costs low, my expenses low, is that I don't buy new things. Now, from the clothes that I wear right now, this shirt was at a thrift store. From the things that I buy, I don't need new jewelry. I don't need to buy things to impress people. I don't need new items to feel like I'm doing well for myself. Because the greatest tip and the tool that I learned is that the people that are truly wealthy, the people that have real money, don't need to show it, because they know deep down exactly what they have. Now, I feel like I'm in a position in my life where I do this exact thing. I want to live with this confident principle. I don't need to go out there and buy new jewelry. I don't need affirmation from other people. And this is probably the greatest weakness of society. Everyone lives in a flex culture. Everyone is trying to impress someone, which is only hurting their bank account, which is only hurting their ability to grow wealth for their future self. So that's something that I don't do. And whether if it's going to thrift stores, buying things on Facebook Marketplace, getting things at a discount, I'm always in search of buying things at a discount. Whether it's for myself, whether it's for my business, I don't want to buy things unless I need to. I always ask myself this: do I need another pair? Do I need another item? And the truth is no, because I live by the 80-20 principle. 80% of the clothes that you have, you only wear 20% of the clothes. So you might find something new. You might find something that you really want to buy. But what I know and what I do for myself is I put it back on the shelf, because I know that that $20, $30 can be saved for myself. I can use that $20, $30 to make more money. I can deploy that into an asset. I can buy something with that 30 that's going to make me an extra $100. So being strategic, understanding the true value of my money, because I don't need anything else. And having new objects and having new materials is not going to go ahead and enhance my life. I am confident, I am comfortable with what I have, and more importantly, I want to eventually have more than I have right now. So I have to take the sacrifices. I have to not live such a fancy life. I have to make some sacrifices now, so that one day in my 20s and 30s, the more money that I can save for myself to go ahead and invest is the more money that I'm going to have that's going to allow me to go on the offense and eventually live that dream of being financially free by 30. Right now, I have no debt in my life. Right now, I'm deploying as much money as I can to continue to make more money for myself. And right now, I'm continuing to scale businesses, all because I'm able to save more money, because all the money that I'm earning currently for myself is going directly into what I'm saving for myself, what I'm investing for myself, back into the businesses that I own, and more importantly, it's not being spent on things that are going to drain my wealth and not help me achieve this goal of financial freedom by age 30. And lastly, the most important thing that I do is to keep my cost of living under $500 a month at age 22. Now you might ask, how do you keep your expenses so low? Now the thing is, I don't want to add new bills to my life. Well, if it's the TV that I don't watch, I don't have a TV bill. I don't even know what TV is. I don't really watch TV, so I don't have to pay for subscriptions. I don't have to have all these different models being thrown at me. Everything out there is trying to drain your wealth, from the subscriptions, from the people out there, from the products, from the services on Facebook, on Instagram. Everything is being marketed to you so easily in 2021. So I refuse to buy anything online like that. I know I have some Amazon purchases, but I'm buying things for the right reasons. And secondly, when it comes to eating out, food, I'm spending about $30 a week on the food that I'm eating. Now for lunch and dinner, I'm eating the same thing. These are all being meal preps, because I know that I want to live a healthy life. And if I have a plan, if I know exactly what I'm spending my money on for food every week, then I continue to live a very balanced and healthy life, but I also keep my expenses low. I don't need to go out and buy Chipotle every day. I have a meal prep for me every day. I don't need to go out there and buy all this expensive food that's out there, because this stuff adds up and it's going to help drain your bank account, and it will drain my bank account. I know you can go ahead and treat yourself, but more importantly, having following a regimen or a same food restriction or diet has allowed me to save a lot of money and truly kept my cost of living very low. And I'm making sure I'm not spending or wasting my money on things that do not matter in my life. Similar to the 80-20 rule, what I want to do, whether it's going out with my friends, whether it's going out there and having fun, being 22 years old, you have to spend your money on things that you think a 22-year-old would want to spend its money on. Bars, alcohol, drinks, bad things. That stuff is all going to cross my mind. That is all going to be in front of me. My friends, you know, the people that are out there doing the things that I do in college are living this life, but I don't cave into it. I have certain budgetary restrictions. I want to continue to keep my costs under $500 a month, which means I'm tracking exactly what I'm spending every week, every month, and I'm making sure that every month I'm spending less than $500 a month, because I know if I'm able to spend less than $500 a month, I will have a certain budget left over every month based on the income coming into my life that I can continue to deploy, continue to build my wealth, continue to get leverage right now in my 20s. And most of the time when I was spending money, or if you're spending money right now in your life, you're wasting it on things that are not going to help you get to a position where you want to achieve financial independence. Now for me, the greatest thing that I saw as a 22-year-old is this: people wasting money on dumb things. The dumb things, whether it's a car, whether it's a new product, whether it's a new piece of clothing, this stuff is going to drain our wealth, and that's something that I'm not caving into because I'm living frugally. I'm making sure I'm not making dumb decisions with my money because I want to use every dollar to create financial freedom in my life, guys. So that's a little quick story. I give you guys a little background of what I'm doing, as well as my living situation, as well as my plan of investing, as well as the businesses that I'm kind of trying to deploy money into, because this is all leading into how I'm going to plan to make more money, build these assets up, build these different revenue streams up, so I can really achieve financial success in my 20s and 30s. Doing the things that I'm doing right now, not relying on one job, not relying on one income, has all really allowed me to become financially independent right now at age 20, because I don't have to worry about expenses. I don't have to worry about paying rent at an expensive apartment down in Manhattan because I have a corporate job and now I have to fit in. I have to try to impress people. I have to try to spend my money to look like I'm being successful at age 20 out of college. I should be doing this. But the truth is, I'm taking a different path. I'm doing the things that people say you shouldn't do because I know that they're truly the right thing to do. And if I want to build this life of financial freedom, not have to worry about money, not have to worry about a price tag, that I need to be deploying, building my assets up, and making money for myself, so one day I can look back and say, hey, those sacrifices that I made in my 20s were worth it. So guys, if you made it this far and you have not yet subscribed yet, it would mean so much. As well as, guys, make sure you tune in tomorrow for another video. We have a lot more exciting announcements, we have a lot more video, we have more content ideas. Share your thoughts, share your comments below, and more importantly, we'd love to say hi to you. So go ahead, introduce yourself, let's chat this up, and more importantly, if there's anything that I can do for you, feel free to hit me up on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you find me. I'm here to help. So guys, thank you so much. Truly love you guys, and it means so much that you can tune into this channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Love you. Peace out.